Welcome back to r/LegalAdvice, where people ask questions, get advice, and we get satisfaction. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to join our amazing community, and without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, "A local business owner attacked a woman with a drill near her groin. How is this not a crime? How can she make him pay her expenses for this injury?" A family member of mine was inside a bar with friends over the weekend. The bar owner jokingly took a power drill, thrust it towards her groin, and drilled it into her upper thigh. It broke skin, burned her flesh, and the hospital told her it did nerve damage. The wound has gotten worse and required a second and third emergency room visit and seems to be developing an abscess. She has been referred to the burn unit and has already missed 2 days of work for this. She tried to file a police report the next day, but for some inexplicable reason the officer did not seem to think this was a crime when she told him she wanted to press charges. He told her, "Because alcohol was involved." The owner was sober, there wasn't much they could do. The officer declined to see her wound or even a photo of it. He went and spoke to the business owner, who apparently admitted it and told him he would pay her medical bills and that she is banned from the bar. She obviously had no intention of ever returning. Another bartender and customer who witnessed the incident also gave statements to the police confirming that he did continue to advance towards her with the drill while she screamed and tried to get away. I want to know 2 things. First, is there anything that can be done about pressing charges against this man? He has been charged in the past for harassing women, if that matters. Number 2, how can she get him to pay her medical bills and time off work? He told the officer he would, but she has little faith that he will. Does she need an attorney? Edited to add this occurred in Wisconsin. I gotta say guys, that bartender sounds like an absolute maniac, and why the hell is there a power drill in a bar? Especially behind the counter at the bartender. Unless this story is straight from Dusk Till Dawn, the movie, which is by the way one of my favorite movies, I see no reason for having such a power tool behind the bar. Either way, a user in the comments said, "Tell your family member to get a personal injury attorney to coordinate both the criminal and civil avenues. The cop who brushed her off is not the last stop, but having an attorney dramatically increases her odds of a favorable outcome." And another person in the comments said, "These injuries may be covered by his commercial insurance policy, although the insurance company may deny the claim because a reasonable person would not act with such negligence. In which case you would sue him in civil court. Usually attorneys are willing to take a percentage of the final settlement. That person sounds unhinged and possibly dangerous too, so you may want to consider a PPO, which your attorney can file." If you have ever watched daytime TV, you would remember seeing tons of commercials by attorneys about car wrecks, getting hurt at work, etc. Those are the type of attorneys you reach out to. Do your research and pick a good one, because there are many bad ones. They will file against the bar's liability carrier. Good luck. Well, obviously guys, in this case the best attorney to call is Saul Goodman. By the way, I would love to know, are there any other Better Call Saul fans in the community? Let me know. And the next one is an update to the power drill story. I don't know if anyone would care about this, but I wanted to post an update anyways because it is good news. This happened in Wisconsin. Basically, almost 2 years ago, my family member was attacked with a power drill by a bar owner. He was trying to flirt with her, she was not interested, and then jokingly thrust a running power drill into her genital area. She pushed his hand away, and so he drilled through her jeans into her inner thigh instead. Instead of immediately stopping, he continued drilling, and the drill bit penetrated her jeans, penetrated her skin, and also burned her badly enough to require treatment from the burn clinic and caused nerve damage. She got an infection from the wound as well. Pictures are on the old post. The nurses at the hospital had encouraged her to report the incident to the police, and she did the next day, especially because there were numerous witnesses present for this entire incident who were horrified and wanted to make a statement. The police officer who responded seemed indifferent and even hostile towards her, reporting this right off the bat, and he refused to see the wound or even a picture of it. He was not willing to speak to any witnesses. He did go and speak with the bar owner, who admitted to doing all of this and claimed it was an accident and that he would pay her medical bills. Spoiler alert, he did not. Now for the update. Out of the blue in early 2020, my cousin gets a phone call from an FBI agent. I don't know how this works, but apparently our local police department has an FBI agent who comes in a couple days a week and works on or reviews stuff. Anyways, the bar owner was being investigated for separate, unrelated sex crimes, and the FBI agent came across the report my cousin had made against him. She asked my cousin what had happened, and she told her. The agent was shocked and appalled. She said because none of that was in the officer's police report. Nothing whatsoever about this guy taking a power drill to her groin. She told the FBI lady that she had very thorough documentation, pictures and medical records from this incident, as well as a dozen witnesses, and the agent had her send it all to her and set up a meeting the following week to discuss. When they sat down the following week, she told her that what had happened to her was most definitely a crime, possibly even a sex crime. The witnesses confirmed her account and were willing to testify in court. The officer who had blown her off was reprimanded and disciplined for his inaction and tried to defend himself by claiming, "I didn't know her wound was that bad." To which the FBI agent asked him, "Why did you refuse to look at her wound or pictures of it?" Anyways, the FBI lady took his case to the district attorney, who agreed to file charges. The bar owner has since been arrested and charged with the following: second-degree reckless injury, felony; fourth-degree sexual assault, misdemeanor; disorderly conduct, misdemeanor; fourth-degree sexual assault, misdemeanor; and 3 other fourth-degree sexual assault misdemeanors. And also stalking, which is a felony. His tavern license was revoked, his bar was shut down and has since been sold. The case is delayed due to the virus, but they did arrest and charge him finally. This guy also sexually assaulted other women, both before and after this incident. He has prior disorderly conduct convictions and many restraining orders from women against him. These other charges include allegedly cornering a female bartender and demanding she give him oral, at which point she just ran screaming out of the place. He also violently cornered and groped another female bartender and then stalked her mercilessly, smashed out her windows, slashed her tires, etc. until he was finally caught on video stalking her. It never sat well with me that the police blew this off, especially knowing his prior history and hearing stories about him abusing other women. Obviously this guy was escalating, probably because he never faced consequences for his actions before. I'm glad to say he will finally face justice for his crimes, thanks to the actions of this FBI agent. And guys, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you want to support me. In addition, if you are subscribed already, please don't forget to also turn on the bell to not miss any of my videos in case YouTube tries to suppress me once again. And the next one is titled, "One of my housemates had a psychotic breakdown and ran away, not sure what to do." Hello, I live in a share house with 2 other people. We are all living here together, but I am the only person on the lease. A decision made because I was the only party who could commit to 2 full years. My housemates are not on the lease, but they pay me rent fortnightly, which I forward as a bulk payment to our landlord. Our landlord is aware of the situation and is okay with it. On to the issue, one of my housemates had a mental breakdown. It started small, but over a month time it progressed to him coming into our rooms at 3 AM, screaming wildly about how we keep shouting his name and that he will catch us soon. It got too intense for us, and so about 2 weeks ago, I, the other housemate and crazy housemate's partner, who does not live with us but had seen the crazy, had an intervention with him. We explained that he was being weird and seemed psychotic and tried to get him to see a doctor, but instead he ran away and has not come back. We have filed police reports, called his work and local hospitals, but he has not shown up. His emergency contact was his partner, who was there at the time, so there is no one else to contact that we know about. He was using Facebook for a few days, but ignoring our messages. Apparently he has not logged on for about a week now though. He has missed rent payment 2 days ago, and so that is what prompted me to post this. In all, I am concerned about him, but I'm pretty sure he has abandoned his tenancy. He was not on the lease, so I think we may have no issues kicking him out. What can I legally do with his stuff though? Am I also liable for anything here? Can I get in trouble for kicking him out when I cannot issue him a formal notice due to him being missing? If this is messy, I am happy to supply any details necessary. And guys, interestingly enough, someone in the comments said, hey, this is not legal advice, but you might want to check this out. More than a bit of an overlap, or you are a very elaborate troll. So essentially guys, someone posted a very interesting similar story on r/relationship advice. So let's take a look at that story. It is titled, Me, 26 male, with my housemates, 20 male and female, they won't admit to pranking me. Hey relationships, long time lurker, but never had a need to do a post except now that I have a really strange problem and I don't know what to do. This started about a week ago. I don't remember exactly when the first occurrence was because it happened so much. And I thought it was my imagination at first, but my housemates regularly call out my name while I am home, and only I would go ask them what they wanted and they would say that they had not called out anything. The first few times I did not think anything of it. I was working ridiculous hours too, so I assumed I was just tired, but this has been going on for almost a week and they refuse to admit that they do it. It got to the point where we had a fight about it because I was so tired of getting up from whatever I was doing, only for them to tell me that they had not called my name, that one day I snapped and was yelling at them for taking this prank too far. They are relentless and refuse to admit to anything. I tried ignoring it, but they would shout louder and louder until I either shout back or get up and confront them. Of course they claim I'm crazy or I am the one pranking them. Sometimes when I walk away, I can hear them snickering too, so I know it is them. They are taking this way too far. They even held a semi-intervention earlier today that was just them and my partner, 27 male, telling me that I should go to the doctor because I keep making up that they shout my name. I almost bought it. I was so close. I thought if my partner is there too, then there has to be some truth to it, and maybe I had some psychosis or something, but when I left the room to get a drink of water, I heard them through the walls saying crap like about how gullible I am. I got really annoyed, and my partner is in on this too apparently, so we had a massive fight and I told him to leave. I don't think I can trust any of them anymore. He keeps trying to contact me, but I refuse to get sucked into this further, so I just don't open his texts or answer the phone. I also decided to leave and stay at a hotel for the night to get away from my housemates, so that is where I am now. My solutions: first, get them to own up to it. Failing that, second, move. Number 3 would be to end the relationship, and that is about all that I have now. I thought this housing arrangement was great and that my relationship was the best that I had ever had all until this month. I want to salvage it, but I feel too frustrated at their immaturity. What do I even do? And the next one is an update to the housemate and the psychotic breakdown story. We found our housemate about a week after I posted. A user in that post directed me to an eerily similar r/relationship advice post. I private messaged that user and got no response. He said in his post that he was staying at a hotel and I had half a mind to call all the local ones, but a few days had already passed, so I knew it would be futile. By this point, the police taking this as a missing persons case, although the circumstances were not suspicious, so their hopes of finding him were slim to nil. It was assumed he would not want to be found, and he's an adult, so there's really nothing we could do here. Fast forward a few days, still no sign of him. The remaining housemate and I decided to just bear the brunt of his missing rent as we had the money and we could clear his stuff out and make it into a shared space or a guest room or something. I asked his partner, who was going through the roughest time, to come help us clear his stuff out and store it in case he came back. As we were doing that, we found an old iPad in a box buried in his closet. We decided to charge it and his pin was the same as his newer model. His partner knew it, so we got into his iPad and all of his accounts were still signed in. In his email, we found some itineraries for hotels that made it seem like he was making his way down the coast. We are up in Cairns. We gave the iPad to the police and using that, they found him a few days later just north of Brisbane. However, he said he was not missing and that he voluntarily left Cairns and his stuff behind. I got an email from him the next day saying that he hated us and to throw his stuff out as he could never set foot in our house again. His partner received no messages and was really distraught, but has since accepted that their relationship is over and sent a breakup text. The ex-housemate never replied to the breakup text, but we are assuming he saw it. Unfortunately, we had no physical evidence to show that our housemate was mentally unstable or anything, so the police could not really do anything else. They recommended that we keep records of all future contact with him, just in case he comes back and tries to start something. Bonus life lesson: don't share your house with people you don't know. Wondering if that life lesson also applies to Airbnb owners. I'm curious, are there any people in my audience who do Airbnb? Did you ever have any negative or sketchy experiences? Let us know in the comments. And the last one is a classic mama-son story and it is titled The Saga of My Parents' House Part 1. And by the way, this was posted on r/ripestories, so consider it as a little bonus that has nothing to do with legal advice. Way back when my parents planned to get married, my maternal grandfather did not approve. My mom's family were devout Catholics and had gone through all the nightmares, so my mom could divorce her first husband. He was an officer in the US Air Force, and I later found out through my older sister, who was his bio daughter, that he would not put up with our mom's shenanigans. Granddad drug his feet on granting his blessing because a Navy officer was so much worse than an Air Force officer. My granddad finally gave an ultimatum on what it would take to marry his daughter. Buy land that can be hers if something bad happens, thinking that my dad would not be able to afford any. The joke was on my granddad. As a fighter pilot in the Navy, my father would receive hazard pay between this and his regular salary. As an officer, he had money to buy some cheap land that was part swamp on a bayou. He picked up 5 acres, dependent on tide, for cheap. And yes, the deed really says dependent on tide. Nothing was done with the land but to pay taxes on it until my parents began planning for my dad's retirement from the Navy. When my parents were about 5 years away from the end of my dad's Navy service, they began looking into what type of house they wanted to retire in. They chose a company that would build the house to 90% complete. We just had to paint the walls and put down flooring. These 5 acres were on a brackish, fresh/salt water inlet on the Gulf Coast. About 1/3 of it had to be cleared to be able to build the house, which would be 15 feet/4 to 5 meters off the ground on pier pillings, sunk 6 feet/2 meters in concrete. This was done to put it above the tidal surge that was in Hurricane Camille. However, the land clearing was delayed by a few days to remove a 20-foot 6 to 7 meter alligator. It was a bull alligator, so the builders had to hire men to keep watch for the girlfriend alligators or a new bull coming in. After the house was done, we went in and painted all the walls. Amid many arguments, we ran across a few snakes and some were even venomous. Dad and my brother had fun shooting them and tossing them into the bayou. We then got some family to put in the flooring at a discount. Now we were ready to rent it until my dad retired. Mom threatened us to not tell about the alligator in case it scared people away. Our first renters were a pair of Air Force soldiers. All the local family said they would wreck the place, but instead they started improving the place so much that they increased the value of our house. We were sorry when they moved out. The next renter was a delightful young lady who was a registered nurse at the nearby hospital. She was quiet and never gave any trouble until we got a call from the local police. Some crazy man had tried to break into the house by taking an axe to the front door. When the police had arrived due to a call from a neighbor, the crazy man was still hacking at the door with the axe. He was screaming about needing his fix, the nurse was hiding in the bathroom crying her eyes out, the doorknob gave out just as the cops used their brand new taser on the crazy man. As our now quiet man was put in cuffs, one of the cops entered through the broken door. The house had a mostly open floor plan, allowing the cop to clearly see the living room and dining room. Scattered about were lots of drugs and drug paraphernalia. Our oh so nice nurse was actually dealing in stolen hospital drugs. Dad took a week's vacation time to go and get the house cleaned and replace the door. That cost my parents much more than they made in rent, so they decided to not rent anymore and just have family swing by and take care of the lawn until my dad retired. And we will read the second part of this story very soon. Thank you for posting it, Mama-san. I gotta say, I really enjoy these stories about the southern states in the US. Who wouldn't love to have a 7-meter alligator in their backyard? Either way guys, unfortunately we have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the content today, and if you did, you know what to do. It would be awesome if we could reach 1000 likes. In addition, if you are looking for more Reddit content from me, then I suggest to head on over to patreon.com/ripeyoutube, where you will find more exclusive Reddit content. Mainly just no mother-in-law. Prices start at $3 per month for exclusive access to the videos. Either way, I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.